Hello, I'd like to speak to you a moment on value and self-worth. I learned my very valuable lesson by a chair. Sounds kind of crazy that furniture can teach you something, but there's lessons all around us if we just open our eyes to see and our ears to hear. So I'd like to share my story with you. I was driving home from work one day, and as I approached my home, I saw two chairs out by the curb. We had neighbors that were moving, so they were just discarding old things. I saw these chairs and I thought, wow, those really have potential. So as I got closer to pick the chairs up, I noticed they were torn, the seats were stained, the wood was really dug into, it was pretty scarred up, pretty torn up, and it needed some work, but it had potential. It reminded me of us, how we devalue ourselves, how if we have scars or there's things we don't want others to know about, or we try to hide behind the things that have happened to us in this life, bad things. It's emotional scars. I'm not talking about scars that people can actually see. I'm talking about the inner scars, the ones we hide behind, the ones we put on the happy face for and we pretend don't exist, the emotional scars that torment us. These are not scars we're born with. These are scars that life teaches us. It's things that people have said to us that we carry with us. You're not pretty, you're too fat, you're too thin, you're ugly, you're not smart enough, you're too short, you're too tall. How many of you know what I'm talking about? We get those scars and we look in the mirror and we think, wow, you're not worth anything. You're scarred. Who's going to want you? I wouldn't want you. I mean, these are all things I've said to myself too. You're too fat. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at those wrinkles. Oh my gosh. We all do this. We all tear ourselves down because of the emotional scars. Nobody else can see those scars. But we do. We see it every day. And we feel so bad about ourselves. And we try to overcompensate. But I think that life has taught us that if it's scarred, if it's stained, don't try to fix it. Just throw it away. Buy a new one. So we try to do that with ourselves. Well, let me go get hair extensions. My hair's too short. Oh, I need longer eyelashes. Oh, I need to lose 20 pounds. And maybe some of that is true. Maybe we do. But we devalue ourselves and we think we're worthless. So what do you do with worthless things? You throw them away. So I encourage you to take a look at things. And instead of looking at the scars as broken, look at it as beautiful. From broken to beautiful. Perhaps broken isn't broken to be trash. Perhaps broken is to be repurposed for something even more than you could possibly imagine. So this chair I pick up, and it is pretty chewed up. I'd like to show it to you because I believe some people need a visual. So I'm going to show you this chair. If you can see, it's pretty tore up. It needs a lot of work. But it's just work. Whether it's working on yourself, you got to start from the inside out. Now with the chair, obviously you can't go on the inside of the chair and work on it. But we took this chair, torn and tattered, and we sanded it. And then we recovered the cushion. We gave it a new paint job, shined it up, saw the potential, and now I'd like to show you the finished product. This is the same chair, different color, sanded and redone, new cushion. This, from broken to beautiful. The same can be true for us. Broken isn't trash. Broken is repurposed. I pray that you watch this and realize that you have more value than you could ever possibly know. It takes one person to discover that you have potential. You have great potential. It is within you. You possess it. The good Lord who formed you in your mother's womb, He knows you. He calls you by name. He says you are more valuable than rubies. You are more precious than the sparrows. How could we not know that we are valued? What you see in the mirror is not who you are. It is what you look like. Your scars tell your story. And you have a beautiful story. Things in life happen to us. And some of them are not so fabulous. They're not wonderful. They're tragic and traumatic. And they're just horrible and unimaginable. But you survived. You made it. And the God who comforted you will help you comfort other people and help pull them through those things and those situations. The battles we face, the self-esteem, the eating disorders, the looking to others to try to fill us up, fill the empty void inside of us, the need to be valued, the need to feel worthy. You already have that. Just find it. You possess it. Fake it till you make it. I encourage you to know who created you. When the God of the universe, who put the stars in the sky and knows each and every one of them by name, don't you think He knows who you are? Don't you think He values you? He loved you enough to give His only Son to die on a cross for you? What determines value? The price someone is willing to pay. You can't pay a price higher than that. You are valued. You are loved. This is a lesson I had to learn. It was a very hard lesson, because when enough people tell you you're not worth it, you begin to believe those things. And it takes a long, long time, and it takes a lot of love to remove the lies that you've been told all your life. You are valuable. You are valuable. You are valuable. I encourage you to, if you pray to a God, He will answer you. And some people say, why? God's not real. Yes, He is. If you allow Him to be real. We build up so many walls and we close so many people off. We don't allow them to get close. We don't allow them to know who we truly are because we're scared to be hurt again. I promise you, if you tear down that wall long enough to allow the Lord to minister to your hurt and your pain and your voids, you will find your value. You will uncover it. You will see it always existed. You will never again depend on a person, a human that will fail you repeatedly. Not intentionally, it's what we do. We're human. But a God who does not fail, A God who will not abandon you, who will not leave you, who will continually fill your cup. A God who will remind you that He died for you, He knows you, He formed you, He ransomed you, He redeemed you, and He loves you with all that He has. I encourage you to find that. I encourage you to discover your value. Pray to have eyes to see the way the Lord sees you. You will never look at yourself the same again. You will realize that you are a daughter and you wear a crown. And the Lord has crowned you. He has called you His. And you, my lady, were born for such a time as this. Stand up. Encourage those around you. Do not let your reflection be your description. Be who God created you to be. You were born on purpose for a purpose. You are valuable. And let the chair teach you the same lesson it taught me. With a little bit of work, all it takes is one person to see the value and bring it out. And then all of a sudden, everybody wants what you got. And they can have it because they possess it as well. So next time you see a friend who's discouraged, who doesn't feel good about herself, who questions if she's enough, who wonders if she's pretty enough or smart enough or talented enough, you remind her God planted it in her, and you water it and you help it grow. Remind her who she is. God bless.